And you were talking also with Becky about technology. I wanted to understand how you think about the inflection point with a technology company. There, of course, was a point where Amazon might have seemed like a speculation. Today, in retrospect, you wouldn't think that. You might even look at Tesla that way. There are some people in the public market, in the public right now, who think that Bitcoin and various cryptocurrencies are complete and utter speculation. There are others who say 10 years from now, we're going to look back and say that wasn't one. How do you think about that distinction?
You know, Andrew, one of the things that's really important, there's an enormous amount of fire hose of information coming at all of us all the time. And as an investor, I've learned to try to be focused on things that actually are going to move the needle for me and my portfolio. So I try to focus on bottom-up, individual situations, stocks, bonds, real estate transactions. And I don't spend a lot of time thinking about things where I think the answer is pretty imponderable. So I do spend time thinking about technology, and part of that, at least, is to avoid being on the wrong side, to avoid being in a company that gets disrupted. I think something like crypto, which I've tried hard to understand the arguments and figure out why people are so excited about it, and I can't find value there. So I'm not making a judgment that it might not go up. I have no idea. But we focus our time where we think we might spend it productively for Balpos.
But what about Coinbase, Seth?
We don't own Coinbase stock. Our team is focused in the sector because there's been so much trouble in the sector. Yeah. So we actually are invested in convertible bonds in Coinbase. And the convert feature is way out of the money. But the bonds are quite well protected, we believe, by the balance sheet.
If you were convinced that truly was tulip mania, would you still have the converts?
There's more asset value in the company. The company's sitting on...
Than possibly Bitcoin itself.
The company's sitting on $5 billion of cash and has less than that in debt. So we believe our bonds are covered by cash, and we think company's doing some smart things, and the business is actually cash flow positive. But it is not a bullish bet on Coinbase.
Would it absolutely shock you if the nature of money going back thousands of years, that's what the Bitcoin advocates tie it to, something similar to gold in terms of a store of value, since it's got 6 characteristics that are very similar to gold, 6 or 7 that are similar. Would it absolutely shock you if it became the internet of money and had a future like that for the unbanked around the world?
Yeah, so I hear you, Joe, and I think there are characteristics. It's convenient that there's a limited supply based on solving mathematical problems. But I wonder if that's important or whether it just is intentional to make it look like gold in that respect. Gold has thousands of years of history. Humans in many countries will go to gold during times of crisis or just to accumulate wealth. But I wouldn't say it's impossible. The thing that I think is quite different is there are hundreds, maybe 1,000 different cryptocurrencies, and you don't have 1,000 paper currencies in your wallet, and I don't either. I have one, and I'm sure you do too. And so I worry that it's a seductive idea. I called it once catnip for techies, that it's exciting, and you can imagine that you're getting on the ground floor of technological gold. But I'm a skeptic. But I would never say nothing, something can't happen.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we have Seth Klarman on CNBC, and he played the Hegelian dialectic perfectly. Remember, these guys don't have to be in the same room. They know the agenda. And guys, what did he say? I can't see why people are so excited about crypto. I can't find value. But then turns around and says, I'm invested in Coinbase. And guys, we know all the central banks are invested in blockchain and these digital assets because it's going to transform the whole financial system. And guys, that's the reason why they have to bring on this banking crisis, because this current model does not survive real-time settlement. And what do we have in the next few weeks? Fed now. And that's the reason why they have to turn it up. Because, guys, with real-time settlement, you need plenty of liquidity. And when you look at the central bank's problems around the globe, it's all about liquidity. But that's the reason why we have so many banks overseas about to flip that switch and get off the United States dollar and over to digital currencies. Remember, if they needed to get rid of the US dollar, they'd never be able to do it without digital currencies. Remember, guys, you have trillions and trillions of dollars floating around. It would take decades to move over to another fiat. But now, since they have digital currencies, they can push a button and create trillions. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And guys, I thought this was funny. The Fed investigating the crypto implosions when we know the Fed caused them all. And then we also know the banks are the biggest what? I'll let you finish that. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
We also looked at BlockFi and Genesis, and you used bankruptcy documents to characterize the outflows that they had just before their failures in 2022. And so, what we saw is a classic financial crisis. We saw billions of dollars flowing out. In the most extreme instance at FDX, it was within just a few days. At the others, it was over the course of a week or two. The investors that were able to leave, they left at 100 cents on the dollar. The ones that didn't, they're still creditors to the bankruptcy estate, as you know. So there were, this is an important policy issue that we thought we needed to look at because of the serious lapses in investor protection that we saw with, instances of these firms offering 10, 15% returns on certain investments and making risky investments in firms like Three Arrows Capital or in the Terra Luna project and suffering losses and causing some of their investors to flee.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in an ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.